Good morning, everyone, and welcome to, I guess this is the side yard of Metro Hall, a beautiful day in downtown Louisville. We all know that a strong, safe, vibrant downtown means a thriving Louisville, and a thriving Louisville means a thriving, growing Kentucky. That's why we're working so hard to invest in and continue revitalizing our downtown, everyone's neighborhood, a place where we want people to enjoy every day of the year in a safe, healthy, interesting way. And you can feel our positive momentum that's going on all across downtown. Thanks to our continued investments, the continued hard work of so many, downtown Louisville is getting safer, stronger, and healthier every day. Just last week, we provided an update on the amazing project at Louisville Gardens, transforming that great historic arena into a world-class production studio. We're working every day to reimagine the Belvedere. That's going to be a beautiful, transformative place to connect our entire city. We're revitalizing LouMed, our world-class medical and education district, with a new park, new infrastructure, and more. The community care campus is already under construction. It has a temporary family shelter that's already open and a permanent family shelter that is opening this fall to help individuals who are most in need and struggling with homelessness. And we're creating other world-class amenities and housing around our Louisville Slugger Field and the new Diamond District and around the soccer stadium as well. More people are going to be moving to downtown Louisville to live, to work, to shop, to enjoy themselves. And so much of this is thanks to our partnership with the Kentucky General Assembly and their $100 million investment commitment that they made to downtown Louisville. That money is going to work in downtown now, and you are seeing the projects move forward. I want to give a special thanks to legislative leaders who helped make this happen. Senate President Stivers, Speaker Osborne, locally, Representative Nemes, Senator Rocky Adams, Senator Neal, and others, all working together with bipartisan support to support downtown Louisville, which supports our entire city and our entire Commonwealth. I am so grateful for this partnership, and hopefully it will continue for years to come to benefit Louisville residents, to create jobs, to ensure public safety, and so much more positivity for our city. Out of that investment, one of the things that we have done is to create the Downtown Louisville Building Conversion Program. This is a transformative initiative that's going to help convert some of the vacant office buildings that we have in downtown Louisville into dynamic residential, hospitality, and entertainment destinations. And today, we're thrilled to announce the first recipient of some of those funds. Just behind me is the Jefferson County Fiscal Court building. This project is going to be transformed. This historic government building will be reimagined into modern residential housing that will include significant affordable housing units as well. Weyland Ventures is leading the redevelopment of this historic building, creating 106 residential apartments with a mix of 1, 2, and studio bedroom units. 1/3 of these units approximately are going to be designated as affordable units. And residents will have access to community-focused amenities, including a fitness space and other live-work areas. This is an important investment. Thriving downtowns have more people living in them than Louisville does today. And this is going to continue our work to get thousands of more people living in downtown Louisville to ensure it's active, not just during business hours, but all week long. And by transforming this Louisville landmark building, which is a National Historic Site, we're going to continue to preserve our city's architectural heritage while adapting to modern uses. The total cost of this project is approximately $28 million. And through this Downtown Building Conversion Fund, Louisville Metro government is planning to contribute $3 million towards that $28 million project. And the transformation of this building is just the beginning. We're going to continue to revitalize more vacant buildings across downtown so that there are more places for people to live, to work, to stay, to enjoy themselves in downtown Louisville. So again, I want to thank the Kentucky General Assembly. I want to thank Councilman Herndon and his colleagues on the Metro Council who continue to support downtown. We have an amazing, strong advocate for downtown Louisville in Councilman Herndon, and we're excited to work with him on so many of these exciting projects. And now I'd like to introduce Mariah Gratz. Mariah is the CEO of Weyland Ventures, leading the initiative on this and other important urban revitalization projects throughout our city. Mariah, thank you so much for your and your company's commitment to downtown Louisville, commitment to revitalizing historic properties like this, and really helping to move our city forward. Mariah Gratz.
Thank you, Mayor Greenberg, and good morning, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here today for the announcement that the Fiscal Court building is the first recipient of the funding from the Downtown Conversion Funds. I'm Mariah Gratz, CEO of Weyland Ventures. We are a multidisciplinary consulting, real estate development, asset management, and hospitality company based in Louisville. Our track record of urban redevelopment and utilizing specialized financing programs to make challenging projects happen has brought me here today. When my father, Bill Weyland, first started developing in downtown Louisville in the mid-90s, there was 600,000 square feet of vacant space on West Main Street between 6th and 9th Streets. He was trying to make the Louisville Slugger Bat Factory and Museum project a reality at the time. Downtown was a 9-to-5 kind of place. People came downtown to work and then turned around and went home. Downtown has come a long way since those days. Anchored by tourism, culture, hospitality, sports, healthcare, and educational institutions, in addition to the traditional business employment, it's become an urban, mixed-use neighborhood that is the heart and soul of the city. According to the Louisville Downtown Partnership's Downtown Economic Impact Report, though downtown represents less than 1% of Louisville's landmass, this neighborhood serves as the region's largest employment center, with more than 66,000 workers who live in more than 100 different zip codes. It's home to more than 10,000 residents and draws more than 36.5 million annual visits. It also generates $14.3 billion of gross domestic product. A strong downtown is vital for the overall strength of the city. For Louisville to thrive, downtown must thrive. So I would like to thank the Mayor, the Metro Council, and the Kentucky General Assembly for recognizing this and making historic investments in downtown Louisville. We are proud at Weyland Ventures to be a part of the next phase of downtown's growth and to be bringing new life to the historic Fiscal Court building. Built as part of Roosevelt's New Deal in 1938, on the heels of the 1937 flood, the Fiscal Court building was built as a practical solution to bring scattered county office workers together into one building, envisioned as a one-stop shop for residents, for their government needs. What a great history to build upon. Utilizing the Downtown Louisville Building Conversion Funds, in addition to historic tax credits, the conversion of the Fiscal Court building will bring over 100 apartments to the heart of downtown, positioned in the ideal location to connect the cultural and tourism activities on Main Street with the hospitality and restaurants along 4th Street and the revitalization of the Louisville Gardens. The apartments will be a combination of studio, 1- and 2-bedroom units with unique historic details, along with modern amenities and fantastic views. Urban districts and neighborhoods are where you can create the truly authentic places that people are drawn to. The mix of history with new construction, density and walkability, the opportunity to create surprises that keep people interested are, in my mind, unique to the redevelopment of the city's urban core. Thank you to my family and team at Weyland Ventures for their tireless efforts to create these spaces and make these projects a reality. And thank you again to the Mayor, Metro Council, and the Kentucky General Assembly for investing in the heart of our city. Now I'd like to hand it back over to Mayor Greenberg.
Thanks, Ryan. That's great. Thank you so much, Mariah. You and your family and your colleagues have done so much to improve the lives of downtown Louisville, to improve the strength of downtown Louisville, as you mentioned, for several decades, and we're excited about this project so much. I also want to thank some other folks that are working every day to ensure downtown is thriving and alive. Rebecca Flyshaker and Louisville Development Partnership, Downtown Partnership, thank you very much to you and your team. The programming that you do, the advocacy, the strategic plan is all critical in helping to move us forward. And to Jeff O'Brien and all my colleagues in Economic Development and Louisville Economic Development Alliance at LEDA, thank all of you guys as well. We are truly working together in partnership. Nonprofit organizations, the city government, my administration, Metro Council, the private sector, all working together to move downtown forward. And you're going to see it happen right behind us here at the historic Fiscal Court building. So excited about that. Before we get to questions, I just want to talk a little bit about a couple of other initiatives that we were in the middle of working on that we've talked about in the past related to public safety. And that is as it relates to the community commitment, Louisville's consent decree. As we mentioned, that we are taking the next steps towards finding an independent monitor for the community commitment. Our detailed plan for real and lasting police reform and improvement for years and years to come. As I've mentioned, the independent monitor that will be hired as a neutral evaluator of Louisville and LMPD's progress towards implementing the community commitment. We have set 2 community listening sessions for the public to discuss the qualities and qualifications they want to see in an independent monitor. Our first listening session will be held 1 week from today, next Tuesday, June 17th, at the Republic Bank Foundation from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And our second listening session will be held on Saturday, June 28th, at the Greenberg Community Center from 10 to 11:30 a.m. The sessions will be led by the facilitator, Dr. Sherry Dawson-Edwards, who's a professor of criminal justice at the University of Louisville. Go Cards, by the way, on the way to Omaha. Online, you can find a link to register and a link to provide feedback if you're not able to attend one of those 2 in-person sessions. I also want to remind everyone that there's 1 week left to apply to be a citizen representative on the on the Community Safety Commission, something else that we announced. So there's 1 week left to apply to either be a citizen representative from one of LMPD's 8 divisions, and also representatives from community organizations across the community will have seats on the Community Safety Commission. All the information about that can be found at louisvilleky.gov/safe-Louisville. And if you need help filling out forms or scanning the codes, or the internet isn't your thing, please stop by the library. Any one of our public libraries can help you fill out an application to be a part of that or to get more information. And finally, to keep up with all the news that's going on every day throughout Louisville and all the other positive momentum we're seeing throughout Louisville, I want to encourage folks to join us on all of our social media platforms to follow along so that they can see the latest of what's going on across the city. It's filled with great updates. Every Friday, I post my Mayor's Minute for a look back at the week in review. And I'm excited for the week ahead, for the weeks ahead, and what is going on all across the city. Thank you all very much. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
There have been 2 shootings near Algonquin Park in just the past 2 weekends. Despite cameras and a strong police presence, how can the city and LMPD take more of a proactive approach to stopping this kind of violence before it happens?
So the question, for those who couldn't hear, was about Algonquin Pool and some of the recent events that have happened there. First, let me say I'm so incredibly proud of what we have done at Algonquin Park with the new Algonquin Pool. We have the best, the biggest, the pool. I would even call it a water park, as Councilwoman Hawkins says, at Algonquin Park. That's exactly what it is. And I want to encourage families all across the city to continue to enjoy this amazing investment that we worked so hard to not just reopen the pool, but to reopen the biggest and the best public pool in the entire region right in Algonquin Park. We believe this can be transformative for individuals and for the neighborhood, and we know it will. It's incredibly unfortunate that a couple of individuals have really committed some serious acts of violent crime in the past couple of weeks at near Algonquin Park. We're going to continue to increase our efforts to deter that type of behavior. So we're going to increase the amount of police that we have present, particularly during pool hours. Both of these incidents happened while law enforcement was nearby. And I'm proud that we have made some arrests related to these activities, but we are still searching for other individuals as well. We will continue to improve police presence. We're going to increase the amount of lights and cameras that we have there. We're working closely with our park ranger. Also our Office of Violence Prevention is going to ensure that we have more work with the community at Algonquin Park to ensure that neighbors are helping us as well. Ensure that the safety of Algonquin Park and Algonquin Pool for all participants. And we're looking at longer-term solutions as well, involving possibly some fencing that could go up at Algonquin Park that we're working on right now. We're working out in the neighborhood as well. You know, we have a whole initiative going on citywide to make sure we identified vacant or abandoned properties where bad things are happening. And so we're redoubling our efforts around the park as well to continue to help support that. So it's a great public amenity. I encourage people to enjoy that this summer. It reopens tomorrow at 12 o'clock. It's open 6 days a week, 12 to 5. That's the Algonquin Pool is open 12 to 5 every day except Tuesday.
What's happening in Los Angeles? Have there been any discussions at the local level on what role the city will play or what actions the city might take if there are confrontations between ICE and citizens?
So the question was about what's happening in Los Angeles right now and what the city is doing to plan for that. Let me say several things on that topic. First, just to clarify once again, ICE is responsible for the implementation of federal immigration laws. LMPD is focused on preventing and responding to violent crime that happens here locally under local and state laws. We saw last night some people gathered in downtown Louisville. There was no danger to any individuals or to any property, and those protests happened without incident last night. We will not tolerate in Louisville. I will not tolerate, LMPD will not tolerate damage to property. We will not tolerate risk and danger to others. And so that we don't expect to occur here. And so we will continue to move forward with LMPD's focus on preventing and responding to violent crime. Does that answer your question?
And I do have a follow-up. Have you heard back from the Department of Homeland Security with any clarification on the city's status as a sanctuary city?
The question was about whether we've heard back from the Department of Justice on the city's status as a sanctuary city. No, we have not heard back. We have had conversations with several representatives of the federal government in various agencies, and we are waiting to hear back. Right now, the list has been taken down completely. So we're trying to get an understanding of what that means. Is the list going to go back up? Why was Louisville on this list to begin with? Because nothing has changed since 2018 when the then Trump administration, Department of Justice, said Louisville was not a sanctuary city. And so we are waiting for more information back from the federal government on that. But we have asked the question numerous times to numerous individuals and looking forward to getting some clarity. Right now, the question was about who owns the Fiscal Court building behind us. The city of Louisville owns the Fiscal Court building behind us.
That still be the case when it's redeveloped by Weyland?
As part of the development process, the ownership will be transferred to Weyland Ventures as part of this. We undertook, in addition to this investment, as you all might recall a while back, we also entered into 3 letters of intents for some public property downtown that was underutilized. Vacant parking lots mostly, but also this one vacant building. And so Weyland Ventures has had a letter of intent for this property and also directly across the street, the parking lot, looking at a longer-term, larger redevelopment on what's now a parking lot across the street.
The value of this building is on top of the $3 billion.
That is correct. I don't know. I'm not. We'll have to get back to you on what the value of the building is.
Hearing there that one reason people don't want to move downtown right now is because of the lack of groceries. So, is the city making any effort to lure that type of commercial activity?
The question was about one challenge to getting people to move back downtown is that people say is that we don't have a grocery store downtown. Let me be very clear to every grocery store operated in the city, in the state, in the region. We want you downtown. Louisville Metro government will help make a grocery store happen downtown. We've continued to have lots of conversations with grocery store operators, large national chains, small operators as well, and we continue to stand ready to work in partnership with any organization that wants to open up a grocery store downtown. We're making progress with some conversations for some other locations in and around downtown, but we want to have more conversations to make sure that happens. That is a critically important thing, and we're committed to supporting that with the right partners. So stay tuned.
The Metro ABC issued an emergency suspension order for 21st in Germantown. Do you have any information on that or any comments on that?
The question was about an ABC operating an emergency suspension order for 21st and Germantown. I'm not familiar with that incident. We'll get back to you on that. Let me write myself a note here. Hold on one second. Yes.
Going back to the protest, do you support the protest or do you support the ICE raids of immigrants?
Well, I certainly support the right for people to express their First Amendment right and to protest policies that they believe in. I appreciate that everything was done peacefully and legally last night. Again, we're not going to tolerate any destruction to property down in our city or risk to others in our city. I've also been very clear that I am proud that Louisville is a city with many immigrants and new Americans. They make our city richer, stronger, more vibrant. We've got wonderful entrepreneurs. We've got wonderful teachers. They are a part of the fabric of our city. And as grandson of immigrants who fled Nazi Germany, I'm proud that that's a dynamic part of our city.
Follow up. What if the National Guard will come to Kentucky, to Louisville? What will you do?
The question was about the National Guard coming to Louisville. I don't expect that to happen. There's no need for the National Guard here. Chief Humphrey and his team have planned for incidents. Again, our goal is to prevent any escalation, is to respect the right of people who are protesting, to protect property, to protect individuals. LMPD is prepared for that, and we will act accordingly.
How many projects are in the pipeline for the building conversion fund besides this one? Obviously,
The question was about how many buildings are in the pipeline for the building conversion fund. I believe we had 16 applicants. 19? We had 19 applications for this. This one was chosen to go first because it is very close to being ready for go. We hope to have activity in the building this year still, have construction permits by the end of this year. No pressure, Mariah. But there's been a lot of work already done by Weyland Ventures on this building, and we hope to have more announcements soon as projects are ready. But also, we have a limited amount of capital. So my hope is that the 2026 session of the General Assembly, they will provide more capital. And one of the big things I would like to continue doing in downtown Louisville, is to have an even larger pool for more building conversions in future years.
after this $3 million is allocated, how much is left?
Well, there's not an exact number. The question about how much is left, there's not an exact number because it depends on which other projects among that $100 million happen. But for right now, this is our commitment.
Sure. About this project. Is the plan now supposed to be solely residential, or are there other components, restaurant, retail, et cetera, planned as well?
Sure. So the question was, is this planned to be solely residential or other uses within the building? The plan is for it to be solely residential with some residential amenities like fitness centers and stuff like that. The location and the way the building lays out would be really challenging for retail and restaurant. So we went more in the direction of a pure residential on this one.
Last question, I'm sorry. Just
Sure.
about the timeline. Mayor alluded to possibly construction by the end of the year. Can you just elaborate on that, and what's the status of getting on the financing?
Sure. So we have the financing pieces are in place. We've got to get through additional design. The sheriff is in the building, and so he's in the process of moving out over the summer and the early fall. We will be in the building to do some selective demo, building scans, make sure we understand what's behind the walls so that we can finish up design efforts. And so all of that will be taking place over the next 6 months as we get towards the end of the year.
Is there a timeline on completion of a project?
I believe the completion of once we start construction, it'll probably be a 2-year time frame. There's a parking garage right on the other side of the building, and then street parking. So we find there's usually a mix of folks in downtown, our downtown properties. Some want to pay to park in a garage, and other ones just want to take their chances and save a few bucks and park on the street.
Mayor Greenberg, what concerns do you have when you see the president calling out the National Guard and troops against the wishes of the governor and the mayor of Los Angeles?
Our focus here is on ensuring the safety of our city. That's what LMPD's job is. That's what my job is. The first and foremost role of city government is to protect individuals who live here. And that's going to remain our focus. So I can just speak for Louisville and Kentucky that I know here in Louisville we are prepared. We hope that everyone continues. All of the announcement we've heard about other protests that are coming about these matters have stressed their focus on peaceful protests and non-violence. There are places where that can occur, and I appreciate the organizers focusing on that, on expressing their First Amendment rights and with their words and going no further than that. But I think it's important that cities and state have the ability to deal with the local public safety issues. There's no need for escalation of any of these issues, whether it's about this or anything else. Escalating confrontations does not help. I'm one who likes to resolve by talking to one another, to working things out with one another, and even respecting others who I disagree with. And so I'm hopeful that things in LA calm down, that they're de-escalated, and I don't see the need for escalating any type of crises.
Regarding the other 5 finalists, what's going to determine whether or not those get funded, and do you have any priorities in terms of what those projects are pitching and your favorability?
Yeah. So the question was about others who have applied for the downtown building conversion fund. At this time, we don't expect to have any other announcements right now. Of course, if projects make additional progress or information changes, there might be some other announcements, but we're focused on projects that if we make an investment from this fund, you will see construction starting in the relative near future. We understand the development timeline, but we want to be the last piece of the puzzle, of the financing puzzle with this, to make the projects happen. And we're also very focused on bringing more people to live downtown. So housing is the priority for the use of these funds. Anything? All right, last question.
About the consent decree and the Community Safety Commission. Everyone can apply now for joining the commission. What criteria will you choose to select them? And have you ever considered to use a sortition or a raffle to select them in order to have no conflict of interest?
The question was about how are the selections for the Community Safety Commission going to be met? There are people are applying for 2 different types of seats right now. One is representing the 8 LMPD divisions. We want to make sure that we have people from all across the entire city that are representative on the Community Safety Commission. Again, this is going to be an organization that gets information, that provides feedback, that has conversation about continuing to improve public safety and also to implement continuous police reforms and improvement as well. So it has a dual role, and every part of the city needs to be represented in that. And then also community organizations in particular that have been involved in areas involving public safety, involving the criminal justice system. We want represented in this. And so we'll be looking for a diversity of ideas and people that are on this, that can well represent the entirety of our great city on the Community Safety Commission. And I'll be making those appointments from the applications that we get. Thank you all very much. Have a great day.